Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter here with Roma in Italy. Today we're going to be cracking on through deadline day and into September, where we will be discovering our Champions League group now that we are back in that competition. And I've still got a few signings that I would potentially like to make before the transfer window closes. So let's crack on, see if we get any bids, and try and bring in a couple of players just to bulk up the squad. So then, guys, we've just had confirmation that Nordi Mukiele's position change is now complete to change him into a centre-back, and I believe he should have some growth with this as well. So here we go. He jumps up to an 85 rated centre-back. That's incredible. He is going to be a really, really good signing for us in that right-sided centre-back position. So gives us even better depth and quality than we already had. So that is really good to see. But the man that I am very interested in for that left-sided centre-back position is David Hanko. Can play centre-back and left-back, Slovakian defender, 26 years old, 6'2", so pretty dominant in the air. And you can see his physicals here. Good acceleration and sprint speed. Very good strength, stamina. His jumping's not great, but it's not too much of an issue for me. And technically as well, very good. High heading accuracy, and across the board, he's very decent as, I think, a backup to Gonzalo Inacio. We're going to jump straight in and get him because Dortmund have had an offer accepted, and I think they're pretty close to getting that deal done. He's also only got a year left on his contract, so hoping we can get him relatively close to market valuation. So I've gone in with a valuation bid, and they've told me they want Rafa Varane, who I've just signed. So that's going to be a no. I'm going to go in with 24 million plus a sell-on clause of 10 million. I mean, they have to sell, really. They want 32. I'll give you 27.5, which I actually think is quite high. They've said yes to it. And normally you can get players for a bit cheaper when their contract's up, but I guess it's deadline day, and that's what you get when you leave your signings until the last minute. So 27.5 for David Hanko. Let's see what kind of contract he wants. I'll try and give him a rotation, which he's happy with, which is absolutely perfect. He's still only 26, so a 4-year deal. He only wants a 2, which is odd. We'll go in with 3 and meet in the middle. And wage-wise, he's coming to a bigger club. We'll give him a pay rise of 35,000, signing bonus of 70, and I think he will be happy. He's not quite okay. And we get there in the end with Hanko, so he will come in to play backup at left centre-back. And as I say, we've also got Herrera, the young Ecuadorian centre-back, who I definitely want to get some minutes to this season. Not sure if it's David or David, because it's got the little sort of apostrophe, if that's what you'd call it, above the A. So maybe it's David Hanko. I'll go with David because that sounds good. David Hanko is in to be backup to Gonzalo Inacio. So guys, as we roll into deadline day, I can see that the Champions League group stage has been drawn, as you can see here. So back into Europe's finest competition. What sort of draw are we going to be handed with? Let's find out. So Roma will face. There we are. It's an interesting one. A trip to England to take on Spurs, along with Galatasaray and Bodo Glimt, a team that I'm quite a big fan of in real life. I love following them. They've got a couple of interesting players. So yeah, that's going to be a really interesting group. Definitely one that I think we will get out of, if not top, with Spurs being such bottle jobs. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Let's go and take a quick look at the full draw. So back into Europe's Elite, here is our group. We will kickstart our campaign with a home game against Tottenham Hotspur before visiting at Bodo Glimt, and then back-to-back games against Galatasaray. Group B, you've got PSG, Inter Milan, PSV and Athens. You can see Group C, Group D, E there with Real Madrid and Chelsea. Group F is an interesting one, could be a tough one for City. Juve, Leipzig, Sevilla, Celtic is tough. And then our old team, Atletico Madrid, also with a tough draw. Bayern Munich, Marseille, and then Hearts of Scotland. So interesting Champions League groups there. A lot of them have two kind of clear teams. There's not too many group of deaths. But I definitely think we can get out of ours. So, yeah, I was buzzing to see who we would get. And I'm glad to see it's one that I think we can get out of. All right then, guys. So I've got one more signing that I'm interested in on deadline day. It's nothing particularly huge. So, wow, it's Lisandro Martinez, player that I was potentially interested in, heads to Bayern Munich for 56 million. Couple of big deals going through already. So with 9 million or so left in the budget, I do think I'm going to go after Eduardo Bove. He's nothing particularly fancy, but could get some minutes in the Coppa Italia this year, as we're obviously going to be simming that competition. May get minutes here and there as well, although there is a lot of competition for places in our midfield area. Going to go in with 5 million. They only want 5.5 Bayern Munich, so more than happy with that. Eduardo will come in. He is an Italian as well, which I like. 24. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of reasonable coming from Bayern Munich back to Italy, to his native country, perhaps taking a slight decrease in his wage. But he is in. It might push us into double figures for signings this year. We'll go and take a quick overview in just a moment. We only got a C for the price, but wasn't really anything extortionate. We'll sim down to the last hour and then we'll have a quick overview of our window. Let's have a look at our transfer history and see what we've done this window. So we'll start off with the players who have left the club. We obviously have seen quite a few of our youngsters go on loan, but sort of big departures. Andrea Bellotti went to AS Monaco for 18.7 million. Fontana, this was a great sale to Fenerbahce for 31 million. There's Longo out on a 2-year loan. Montes went to Augsburg for 15.2 million. Barrera out on loan to Villarreal. Bamba went to Watford for 2.25 million, with Zeki Celik swapping Italy for Germany to join up with Bayer Leverkusen for 14.5 million. We then had a couple of other youth players joining clubs out on loan. So Franco went to Spal and Ochoa to Al Raid, not sure how you pronounce that one, from the Saudi League. But in terms of players coming in, we've had a huge window. So we saw Molina come in from Atletico Madrid for 45.5 million. Edouard Mendy joined from Chelsea for 30 million. Bove, who we just saw, joins from Bayern Munich for 5.5. David Hanko from Feyenoord for 27.5. Calderon, Fernandez and Lionel Messi join on free. So a couple of youngsters and one rather experienced player in Messi joining on a free. And then we also saw Rafa Varane join from Bayer Leverkusen for 25 million plus Kumbulla. So they actually got Kumbulla and Zeki Celik from us. I would love to face them in Europe this season if they're in the Champions League. I feel like that would be really funny to face them. And then Nordi Mukiele, who we've seen grow to an 85 rated centre-back for £36 million. I think that's going to be a great deal when we look back on it at the end of the season. And the final signing hidden away at the bottom, No Valentin, backup striker, gives us a different option, signed from Venezia for 15.5 million. So overall, just to run the figures, which I always loved, as I've said in a previous video on deadline day where you saw your kind of net spends. From player sales, we brought in just over £81.5 million. And on new signings, it was a whopping 185 million spent. And in total, we did hit the double figures mark. It was 10 new players brought into the club. So for me, it was a great window, and I'm really looking forward to cracking on with the season, giving the Serie A and also the Champions League a real good go. Alright then guys, now that all the transfer drama is out of the way, it's time to jump into our next game against Parma. And I've decided, as we've got a lot of games to get through in this season, I'm just going to crack on straight into the games and into the highlights. No messing about, let's do this. Right then guys, few changes for this one and a couple of debuts I believe as well. David Hanko is in left centre-back with Nordi Mukiele at right centre-back. Molina, who's on the ball here, starts at right wing-back. And No Valentin is up top as well, making his debut. And here he is. Valentin hits it, deflected, and just wide. And we nearly took an early lead. And we want to be ruthless this season. We've got huge amounts of squad depth, so there's no reason why we can't rotate, keep players fresh, and be challenging on all fronts. I've just noticed that Gigi Buffon's in goal too. This could be fun. Here's Dybala, hits it, pushed behind by Buffon. And Varane sweeps up, and now we can come forward. Here's Dybala, waits for the run of Nicolo, and he can take it in his stride. Pegs it back to Dybala, and just like that, we take the lead. It's 1-0 Roma. Fantastic from Zaniolo and Dybala. Zaniolo goes into the box, gets pushed a bit wide, but rolls it back to Paolo, who absolutely slams it home. When the shot comes in and Mendy just sort of smothers it behind, and Bernabé on the counter from Parma. Hanko got into a bit of trouble. Bernabé's shot, I mean, it's central of the goal, and Mendy kind of pushes it behind when he could have caught it. Keeps us under pressure here. Valentin does well to get something on that first ball. Oh, that's a brilliant ball through, and it is 1-1. And we said that it had perhaps been coming for Parma. And the newly promoted side, who took a point against Milan on the opening day, peg us back here at the Stadio Olimpico. A couple of subs to freshen things up and try and get us back into the lead here. We can't be dropping points early on against a newly promoted side. Need to find a winner here. As Milan now lead by 2. And Martins is on the run. It's not, it's Moretti. Takes it in his stride. Moretti, oh, I've got it horribly wrong. That is not the time to be doing that with your central midfielder. And we remain deadlocked at 1-1. Pellegrini wins the header. It's now Tammy into Dybala. Drops it off for Martins. Back to Dybala. Now it's Moretti. Oh, I think he dragged it wide. It's blocked behind for a corner. Pellegrini's ball in. Flicked on, looking for Tammy, and Buffon falls on it. And it will finish 1-1 here. Disappointing to drop points against a newly promoted side, but Parma at it again. 2 points from 2 against the top 2 sides from last season. Fair play to the newly promoted side, Parma. Now then, we've got a couple of huge games here as we face AC Milan in the league and then Spurs in midweek at home in our first Champions League game with Roma. So couple of big games already, and this squad that we've built is going to be put to the test early on in this season. Now it's Zaniolo into Pobega getting the start today. Dybala driving into the space. Pellegrini hits it. And it's just wide of the post. It's an early chance for Roma here, looking to set down a mark. Plays it forward to Pobega. Now Dybala. Clever little ball into Pobega, who's going all the way perhaps. Pobega, oh, he's done it. Tommaso against his former team. I put him in today thinking, do you know what? It's against AC Milan. Give him the start against his former team. And he just runs, and he uses his teammates' runs as decoys. And then what a finish as well into the top corner. Mike can't get there. The defender just runs into him and it clips the top of the crossbar. That's a lovely angle for it. And finds the back of the net. We lead 1-0 at the San Siro. Really fizzing the ball about. It's into Leao. And Edouard Mendy with that big 6'6" frame gets down and makes the stop. Goes early and it just fucking whacks him in the face. Love that from Mendy. Corner comes in. Varane will deal with it. Oh, and Fernandes has turned away from his man there. Leao again. Again, not held by Mendy, but we will get the ball clear. Oh, Dybala's making the run. Nods it on. Dybala. It's 2. And we've been under the cosh in this first half, and that is massively against the run of play. But this front three is just so dangerous. Running into space as Acuna steps out. Dybala makes the run. Nods it on into his path. And then on the weaker right foot, if you can call it weaker, drills it low and hard past the Milan captain, Mike. And that gives us a huge 2-goal lead here. As Milan look for an opening, and they nearly have one as it's off the post. Still not cleared. Off the line this time, and that is just carnage. Martins has gone again to seal it. Martins, it's 3. What a dominant performance this is from Roma. It's 3-0, and that is game. And that is some challenge. And that'll do it at the San Siro. What a resounding victory that is. And you can see from the stats here, we had slightly more possession, but Milan with more shots, more XG, a lot more passes than us as well. And the scoreline just doesn't really tell the story of the game. It's 3-0 to Roma, but Milan will feel quite unlucky that they've not got anything out of that. Here we go then, guys. Back in Europe's Elite, the Champions League. For the first time since Season 1 with Atletico Madrid. It's good to be back. It's Tottenham with no Harry Kane. He's moved on. I think he actually went to PSG. And then this summer window has moved on to Bayern Munich. So no Harry Kane. Ball falls to Dybala on the edge of the box. Now it's Ignacio. Will fall to Tammy, lifts it over Szczesny and over the top of the crossbar as well. Now Molina can come forward. Dybala into his Argentine compatriot. Still Molina, drilled across to Tammy. And there's the first assist for Molina in a Roma shirt. And as I said earlier on in this game, how many times did we see that where he got to the byline, pulls the ball across for a teammate, and this time, it's his new teammate, Tammy Abraham, who can't miss and gives us the lead against Spurs. The former Chelsea man will have loved that one. Here's Guiri. Takes the strike early and Mendy has to push it behind. Spurs showing that they're not just coming here to roll over. Now Dybala looking for Molina. The Argentines linking up. Molina tight angle. Went for goal and pulled it just wide. And the Argentinians all linking up there. Very tight angle from Molina, but a decent strike across the face of goal. Working this around nicely, Spurs. And they've got it inside, and that's a big save by Edouard Mendy. Conte fuming on the sidelines, as that is a huge chance. Amin Guiri to make it 1-1. Big left hand from Mendy. There's Messi into his mate Dybala. Back to Lionel Messi. Takes it in his stride. Hits it early. And it's a brilliant save by Szczesny. Maybe knew he didn't have the pace, Lionel Messi. Here comes Spurs again and Mendy pushes it behind. 20 to go. It's still only 1. Just under 10 to play here. And Spurs are really pushing for an equaliser. Varane does well. Sane still has it though. And it's pulled across. Great save, Mendy. And Molina gets it behind for a corner. And Mendy for what I said about him earlier on in the episode, has been fantastic in these last few games. Corner this time is played in, Sane heads on, and Mendy gets across once again. Ravella gets a foot in, but it's not cleared just yet. Pellegrini steps in, and that will do it. At the Stadio Olimpico, Tammy Abraham's goal, the only one to separate the two sides, and we will take 3 points and a big step already towards qualification. Finishes Roma 1, Spurs 0. As we take a quick look at the league table early on in the season, Inter Milan, the front runners by some way. 4 games played, 4 wins, 13 goals scored and only 1 conceded. By far out ahead of anyone else at the moment, although ourselves and Atalanta still yet to play in match day 4. Milan in their title defence, currently only 1 win in 3. Okay then guys, final game of the episode here. It's Cagliari away. We've got a pretty strong side out, although we have made some changes. And the young Ecuadorian lad Herrera starts at left centre-back. Interested to see how he gets on in his first start. Now here's Zaniolo, loads of space out wide for Molina. He's got Dybala in support, and it's a great save by the Cagliari keeper. And with Inter Milan starting so well in the league, with 4 wins from 4, we need to do all that we can to make sure that they don't pull away at the top of the league. Oh, a huge gap in our defence, and Mendy called into action early on. Molina to float it into the middle, looking for Zaniolo. Will come to Pellegrini at the back stick. His shot is blocked behind, but Zaniolo's down, and that does not look good for Nicolo. Oh, and it might fall for us here. Martin's across goal, brilliant save by the keeper again. We've got to up the intensity. Ball comes in, Cristante's there, it's off the crossbar. Didn't get many last year. Nearly had his first of this one. Lorenzo will hit it, and it's held by Alessio Cragno. Ball into Tammy. Oh, it's straight at Cragno. It's a clever little ball by Pellegrini. And Cagliari might feel that there's something more in this game for them. Thiago Silva with a fantastic block. Dybala looking for Martins on the run. Can he get there? To come through to the keeper again. Tammy into Dybala. Tammy through the gap. Martins looks for Molina. Tight angle again. Molina finds the goal. It's the new man who got the assist against Spurs. And when we needed someone to step up, it's the man we've trusted since season 1, Molina. Fantastic strike across the keeper. Just sits up for him, connects with it perfectly, and finds that far corner just as we needed him. Molina with his first goal in a Roma shirt. Nonto, oh, can he get away? It's Nonto. Nonto, brilliant, and then can't find finish. Alessio Cragno was fantastic in that one, but we do hold out for the 1-0 victory thanks to Molina. It's another clean sheet for Edouard Mendy this season. Thiago Silva and Herrera in the back line as well, good for them. But Molina with the only goal of the game in another 1-0 victory. Well, it's not good news, it's not terrible news for Nicolo. It's a 2-month injury. It could have been a lot worse for him. Dislocated shoulder, and we won't see Nicolo for a couple of months. I actually thought Ravella was brilliant in that game when he came on for the last 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to sim here against Empoli, who are sat in 14th. We're now only 2 points behind Inter Milan, so to close out the episode, it will be a sim against Empoli. Okay, then we got a pretty strong lineup out for this one. Dybala's struggling a little bit with fatigue from the previous game, but other than that, most people are pretty fit. So hoping that we get a win to keep up the pressure. Here's Tammy early doors, gives us that early lead, and it's him and Dybala again causing issues. Tammy, Dybala, it's 2. Those two at it again. They are just such a good combination. Let's just get through to half time here. We will do. Could even get better for us. It's Cristante across to Tammy on the counter-attack. And the front two are just so lethal. What a brilliant goal on the counter. Chance again potentially on the counter. Oh, what a brilliant fourth. It's Lionel Messi. And Nonto's on the charge, and it's 5-0 from 5 shots. We've been so clinical. Chance for Empoli to get one back, and we've lost the clean sheet late on, which will frustrate Edouard Mendy. But it will be a 5-1 victory, and from 5 shots, what more could you want? We were absolutely brilliant in front of goal, especially Tammy and Dybala. And I think I just saw that Inter Milan drop points. Great match day for us. So guys, that will do it for today's video. We still fall behind Inter Milan as they have played a game extra, but it is ourselves and Inter, the only 2 unbeaten sides in the league. Milan have actually pulled themselves back up to 3rd. So again, this season looks like it could be anybody's guess as to who could win it. We've got Juventus coming up in the next episode, as well as some more big games in the Champions League. But that will do it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the beginning of this new season with Roma, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.